Hey gang, this is George and Jake here at EDC Leather. Let's go on to the next evolution in our shoulder holster build. Some of the tools and supplies that we're going to be using today are A, glue, a ruler. We're going to be using the mag that we're going to use for this build, which will be a Glock 48. We have a Glock 17 mag here just as a reference. The hardware kit, which we'll go over that here in just a moment. A screwdriver. A means to set a line 24 snap. This is a Barry King snap setter. We think they're awesome. A scratch awl. An Olfa knife. Or your favorite cutting tool. A pencil. A 1/8 inch punch and a 3/16 inch punch. A hammer. And a punch board. And of course, we have our pattern. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our pattern cut out. And we'll probably use the wonders of our video technology. Oh, goodness gracious. To do that. So in this job right here, we're going to be trimming this pattern off because it's a Glock 17 and we're going to be building a Glock 48. There's two methods of doing this. What we're going to do right here is we'll be cutting our pattern off and sliding it up and retaping it to match. But there's another thing that you can do as well, which would merely be, if I'm going to put in a shorter mag, I can just punch a hole here and here, put a Chicago screw in there, and block the mag off. Thereby, later on in life, if you decide to go to a full-size mag or a mag that has an extension on it or something of that nature, then you could take that Chicago screw out and do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut this thing to fit. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and cut this pattern out. Yep. Now, we did not cut this off because we're going to use this here in our pattern building so you can see it. But here's what we know. Glock 17 mag, as you can see here, the mag pouch is designed for this mag. But we're going to put in a Glock 48 mag. So I need to reduce the length of this. So all we want to do is we want to measure that Glock 17 mag. Okay? So in order to do that, I'll use this piece of leather right here, guys. I'm going to butt that mag up to it, and I'm going to measure to its longest point at about 5 1/4 inches. I'm going to double check that at 5 1/4. Okay? The mag that we're going to be working with today, though, is about 4 5/8. So what we have there is a difference of length that we just need to cut it down. In this case, I measured the difference between the mags, it came up that number, and then I drew a line there. So let's just take and cut off this bottom profile. Cut that off. Okay, now I'm going to scooch this up to that line, and I'm going to tape it back on. I'm going to use the Holster Maker's Friend blue tape. I'm going to come into here now. I've resized my pattern to match. Let's take now at this point, let's cut this off. Let's lay this over our front panel of our mag pouch. Take our awl And let's mark that out. Trying to get to where I can see lines in my shop is sometimes a challenge. And let's bring a little bit more light to the situation, gang. Okay, we got a little bit more light on the situation if I actually see my lines. So now we're going to go ahead and cut our trim off out. Guys, just don't go too shy on your cutting. We're always going to sand the shape at the very end, so no big deal. That done. All right. So now our mag actually matches, our mag count matches our mag height. Next thing we want to do is we're going to have to put in the male or the post of our snap. So once again, now I'll just actually use my little punch to mark these holes. Right through the paper. Let's see if I can see those. Oh yeah, look at that. So now I'm going to bring over my punch block. Just using a 1/8 inch punch here, because all we're doing is we're putting in a snap. When we do our Chicago screws, we'll use a 3/16. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to dig into our little hardware kit, and that means if I can find that puppy, here it is for the mag pouch. This hardware kit consists of several things. Let's go over those real quick, okay? So, we have two 1-inch rings. We'll use these to suspend us from the harness. Okay. Get all my little parts to separate. We have two nylon snapback covers that you'll put on the bottom of your post so that you don't scratch up the mags. If I can get those things to separate, they like each other. Okay. Two posts, which we'll be using right now. That will be the male into your snap. Okay. Then we're going to use the little backs with no dome on them. Just the flat back. And our two nylons. So that's what we're going to use in this evolution to place these on. So let's go ahead and set this stuff here to the side. And let's get our male set. May have to waller it out a little bit. Not uncommon when you're going through the 8-ounce leather. And I just come into the back side and just get her opened up. Okay. I'm going to put both my posts in. Okay. I'm going to put my male posts on. Just like that. And boy, I really like these Berry King setters. They are just the bomb. Okay, that sets that very, very well. But now I have these little nylon backs, and I'm going to shove it in and just gently tap it like that. And all I'm doing is putting a piece of plastic so that the metal is not rubbing on the metal. And they poke right through the hole, and it just protects the mag a little bit. Our next step here is we're going to go ahead and line these up and lay down a little bit of glue, just on this side, bottom, and up here. And then glue them together. Then we'll be stitching down the middle and a perimeter stitch, and then and only then will we trim that out. Okay? So let me get this here all marked up. All I'm doing is, and you can do it with a pattern, I'm just doing it with leather. I'm going to use a pencil here at this point. and I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to glue in the middle, I'm just going to stitch that. But I know that I want a little bit of glue around these sides right here, okay? So we'll get out our handy dandy glue pot. And remember we talked about in another evolution, you'll hear me do it again, is I like to see you do your gluing to the edge, not from the edge. All right, now we're going to let that sit. We're going to go away here for a couple minutes, let it set up, get good and tacky. Then we're going to put that puppy together. All right, our glue is nice and tacked up. Let's go ahead and set this now. I like to line up my corners. You'll find the areas that you like to line up. I pinch that there. Then I watch one edge and I bring it down. Now I take my cobbler's hammer. Okay. I take my knife. I take my pattern here. All I'm doing is lining it up on the edge, getting it to there. Now I'm going to take my scratch awl. I'm going to start about an 1/8 inch from the end, and I'm going to make a nice little stitch line that I'm going to end right about there. Now this is ready for stitch. It's going to be perimeter stitched and stitched up the middle, and then and only then will we trim this out. So pretty much this is prepared. We'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all stitched together, and we'll put our mags in, and then we'll show you how to mark these straps and then trim them off for your female or your socket end. So we'll catch you here shortly, and we'll finish this rig up. All right, guys, what we've done here is we wet our leather tabs down, poked holes in the bottom of the mag pouch as per the pattern, pulled in the D-rings, put Chicago screws. Guys, remember to use some form of thread locker on these screws. Do not use the red thread locker because it'll never come out. The blue is a little bit easier to get out, okay? So there you go. Now this goes into our plastic bag because it's undyed natural leather. And this will keep it protected until we're ready to assemble the holster.